From stories of leprechauns to goblins or gnomes, you could study the history of fairies for 100 years and still never cover every type of the so-called little people. Whether you call them fae, fairies, the fair folk, the Tua De Danann, or the Aes Sheetha, if you're European you've most certainly heard tales of these entities. Immensely popular since their folkloric origins, stories of the fair folk exploded in medieval times, and have been highly concentrated in Europe since. Most of these beings are mischievous, or simply coexisting. But the little people I'll be talking about today are anything but peaceful. These fae are well known for their causation of death and disaster. What's up guys, it's Freaky Informer, and today I'm going to be talking about the Knocker, a fairy who lives to cause havoc in one particular workplace. You can tell from my voice that I'm a bit sick, but the content has to go on. I've been working non-stop on content this week, and I put so much work into accurate research and depictions of everything I cover on this channel. It would be amazing if you've subscribed, if you find yourself coming back to watch my content. I'd really love to get to 100 subs by the end of July. And if you have subscribed, thank you so much for doing so. Also, the Knocker is actually pronounced like a slur against the traveller community, so I will continue to call it the Knocker rather than its actual pronunciation. So let's get into it. Tales of the Knocker were first recorded in Wales. These stories of the creature quickly spread to surrounding areas such as Cornwall, where the majority of records of Knockers were published. The knee-high humanoids in these original writings were good ones, but I'll get to that in a moment. What is important to note here is that Knockers, or Tommyknockers, are mind-dwelling. This is why they feature in many places where you will find mining industries, with stories cropping up in industrial areas and eras. Knockers are about 2 feet tall, have oddly large heads, long thick beards, and weathered wrinkled skin. Their arms are so long that they touch the ground. Furthermore, they dress in a mining uniform. They're also known to carry pickaxes and lamps. Now to the Knocker's original good arc. The first known stories of the Knockers stated that the little people were either knocking on walls to knock them down and help the miners, or were doing so to indicate to the workers where they should dig in order to extract ores and gems. They also got up to no good. However, although not in a malicious way. If not appeased by the miners, the spirits took items and played tricks on them, allowing the miners to see them out of the corner of their eyes. So, how would you appease a creature from Cornwall? In the case of the Cornish miners, they would throw the last bites of their lunches, Cornish pasties in particular, to the creatures. This warded off the pranks, and the Knockers stayed in check. From there, the story behind the knocking shifted greatly. First, the tale of the creature's knocking was said to indicate that a wall was about to collapse. In this case, the Knocker was once again helping those working in the mines. However, from there, the story takes a dark twist. With migrations of miners from Cornish mines, the Welsh Coblynau and the Wickline, came the story of Knockers to America. There, the details of mischief and prank by the Knocker came to become the malicious acts by the Tommyknockers. In the 17 and 1800s, mass migration of UK-based miners began in the United States. With them, they brought stories of the mischievous Knocker, citing them as the source of the knocking sounds in the mines. Of course, in a time of gold rushing and an extremely capitalist country, greed often overcame safety. Cave collapses almost coincided with the stories of the Knockers appearing, and American mining towns soon came to fear the Tommyknockers, a much deadlier variation than their British cousins. The spirits were such a deadly force, some workers decided that they didn't want to work any longer. After the mines closed, it's said that the Tommyknockers found new work in old homes around the mining towns they resided in. In this form, the creatures were banshee-like, their knocks taking on a whole new meaning. At night, the spirits would knock on every surface of a house, and following these episodes, a resident of that house would die. However, there was now no way to appease the creatures. Cornish pasties were no longer universally found. There was no escaping a Tommyknocker who wanted you dead. In fact, there's even a nursery rhyme based on these creatures, which eventually gave way to Stephen King's book, which took the creature's namesake. Not that he's proud of it. Here's the rhyme. Late last night and the night before, Tommyknockers, knocking at the door. I want to go out, don't know if I can, 'cause I'm so afraid of the Tommyknocker man. So if you live close by to a mine and hear knocking, just know that there's nothing you can do about the inevitable. You can't even run. And that's it for another week. I have so much content lined up in the next few weeks, so if you want to be there first, be sure to turn on your notifications for my channel or join my Discord. Thanks again for your support, and I'd like to once again ask you to extend that support to the petition and charity linked in the description. Thanks for keeping up with all things weird, and I'll see you next week. Stay freaky, stay informed. It may save your life.